Hi, Professor Shepard. Happy week 3. This is my presentation on discussing the Montessori and the Reggio Emilia approaches to early childhood programs and what I would choose for a diverse classroom. So first I wanted to touch base on the importance of a high quality early education program. We talked about this in our discussion this week, and it is important to to mention that the early years of the child is when their brain develops the most, and that they produce all these neurological connections that need to be strengthened, and all of these factors are influenced by relationships, by experiences, and by their environment, as well as some biological influences, but the ones that we can control are assisted by high quality childhood programs that know how to capitalize on these crucial years of this rich brain development, and can also strengthen those connections by relationships and experiences, and a safe and calm environment. So, characteristics of a high quality childhood program that would provide this safe environment, relationships, and experiences is that they have childcare providers who meet children's basic needs. They have an environment that is not only safe, but is conducive and attractive to learning, and they allow room for memorable learning experiences. And I think that both Montessori and the Reggio Emilia approaches meet these needs of young children. Their approaches ensure school readiness, language and reading readiness, social behaviors, cognitive sensory stimulation, all which would be great programs for all different types of diverse learners. They both really promote self directed lessons, and really builds self-motivated learners when we do that. So first, I wanted to discuss the Montessori approach. So it was developed by Maria Montessori, and it really puts the respect for the child first. It is very orderly, and you can see independent children, self-directed learning, and a calm environment in a Montessori classroom. Maria Montessori believed that children have deeper concentration and are more engaged when they have freedom to choose, and that this deeper concentration allows them to be more engaged and learn more once they are learning what they like and what they chose themselves. She also believed that working independently allows them to reach that autonomy of learning, of kind of taking ownership of their learning and becoming self-motivated. Montessori classrooms are open classrooms. They allow free movement. They use specialized Montessori materials that are specialized for a Montessori classroom, and they have mixed age groups, which allows for children to learn from each other. The older children kind of lead the younger ones, and the younger ones learn from the older children, or vice versa. They do practical life activities as a focus in their learning activities. So they promote care of self, which includes getting dressed, buttoning up a shirt, and care of the environment, which might include sweeping the classroom, or picking up trash. They practice social relationships, which can mean working together with a partner to figure out a problem, and so forth. And they analyze self-control and movement by activities such as that really promote safe walking and movement. This approach recently became very popular. It was endorsed by very famous rich Montessori students like Jeff Bezos and the Google founder Sergey Brin and Larry Page recently. So even in where I live, I've seen a couple Montessori schools pop up. So it has become popular recently. The Reggio Emilia approach, I have to say, I wasn't very familiar with it before this class, but it was also developed in Italy by Loris Malaguzzi, a teacher, And the idea was to enhance learning through experiences instead of a fixed curriculum, so that children can develop a love for learning and learn how to respect others. So, this approach also centers around the child and the child's natural instincts to explore. It's not a size fits all. The curriculum is child based and specific, and it grows with the child as the teacher sees a need for what needs to be taught to that child, and it follows a project approach philosophy, provides opportunities for social interaction and learning, and it really makes mistakes and conflicts highlighted. They see it as a part of the learning process, which I really like. Um, Rich in space and materials, so the classes like Montessori are large and open. They also have big windows that are, children's height, which allows them to kind of see outside and feel like they're interacting, like they're part of the outside world. Um, Children and Reggio Emilia approach are encouraged to document their experiences and display them, which really helps them, see that their efforts are appreciated by their school community. Um, which one would I choose for a diverse classroom I would teach? Um, I think that both are very a little bit I mean, they're similar, but they could be effective. But if I had to choose, I would choose Reggio Emilia. I mean, it's the one I'm least familiar with. But I think that the Montessori classroom is great for kids who are self starters, who know what they like, who are confident. I think that kids who need a little bit more support, a little bit more guidance could fall behind, maybe could feel a little left out with these, independent learning activities. Montessori schools have also become expensive, and I don't think, Maria Montessori intended it to be that way. Um, but I feel like the materials and all, this all these beautiful classrooms are kind of hard to keep up and not be accessible to, the diverse learners. So, and the Reggio Emilia approach seems to be a little more flexible. It seems like I could kind of convert a regular classroom to kind of fit those criteria for the Reggio Emilia. I know it has a true Reggio Emilia classroom has the art center where they create their projects, but I think that we could make adjustments, have a corner of the room be a project corner with a large craft table and so forth. So I really like that the Reggio Emilia approach has a larger community engagement with the project with the project mm, with the project approach. It really allows for the children to be involved in their community, to choose projects that would benefit their community. It increased their social skills because they're working together and less independently, as in the Montessori. It really allows room for mistakes, and I think children learn best when they make mistakes and when they don't agree with each other and they resolve their conflicts. I also think it allows teachers to be more active in their roles, even though I do strongly believe in a child centered classroom. I think that allowing us to provide more direction for those who need it and really kind of just let the self starters and the kids who don't need it move on, while making sure we give the support to the kids who do. And I love the idea that the children's work will turn into a project that can be displayed or can be carried out by the community, um, and just adds to the attractiveness of this approach. Um, and also I think what scares me the most about teaching in a public school is following a set curriculum and how that might not work for certain kids. So I think that a little bit more flexibility to the curriculum would be great. I know that Reggio Emilia is the total opposite. There is no curriculum. You kind of just go with what you see the children need, And that could be really beneficial to a lot of kids with diverse needs. I know that even in, language learners, for example, um, they can be in a second or third grade math level, but their language skills are not there yet. So I think that, the curriculum might not meet their needs. So I think something like this could be very beneficial. Um, and also the Reggio Emilia seems to be more of a group collaboration, other than the independent work that in the Montessori classrooms are, which can promote language. I love when kids talk to each other, and the their problem solving and conflict solving skills. So I took this from my philosophy of education that we did in week 1, and I think Reggio Emilia approach fits perfectly into that. And that is that I wanted a classroom where students are physically as well as mentally active, and they're encouraged to initiate learning activities, which is true in Reggio Emilia. Starting with a welcoming environment, providing the right tools for learning, and I want them to feel excited and engaged, but not overwhelmed by options. So I think Reggio Emilia focusing on that one project, not being too overwhelmed with everything else, I think is just fits right into that, into my philosophy. And an active involvement also means that as an educator, my role is not to be the center of the classroom, but more of a guide to discoveries and learning. Um, and, you know, giving that child the freedom to use their interests as a guide to how they will learn. And I think that's the exact definition of the Reggio Emilia approach, is to provide learning that is initiated by a child's instinct to explore. And I think that's so important. These are my references, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Bye bye.